I have been looking for my main gun in Battlefield 6 for a long time. In the last couple of days, I've only been exclusively playing with the PW5A3, also known as the legendary MP5, and I came to a conclusion that this is in fact the best weapon in the game. In this video today, I'm gonna break down the MP5 I'm personally using, why I chose the attachments that I chose, and why you should run them as well. If this video reaches 100 likes, I'm gonna do more build guides like this in the future, so please consider leaving a like and a subscription for a small creator. Thank you so much for your consideration. I wanted to create an MP5 build, which will give you minimal recoil, offering you the least amount of spread possible on the MP5, while not sacrificing hipfire accuracy and reload speed. So let's hop into the test range and break down every single attachment. Starting from top to bottom, I'm using the holographic scope on my MP5 and basically every other weapon in Battlefield 6 currently. Why? Because I believe the holographic scope has the best reticle opacity out of all the other scopes in Battlefield 6. If you look at it, you can see that the reticle is for the most part very visible even in bright environments compared to the other scopes. So this is why I'm running it. There is one thing I have to mention about the scope. The zoom distance of it is actually a 1.50x. So it might feel a little bit more zoomy on medium to close range. But don't worry, if you cannot get used to the zoom of it, we have excellent hipfire. You never have to ADS this weapon on CQB. Anyway, the other scopes you can consider here is this one, so the Russian scope, which is going to be one-time zoom only, and the iris sights. So you will have freedom here between these three scopes. I would only recommend you shift between these three scopes here. Moving on to the lasers, I only recommend you should ever use 2 lasers on any weapon in Battlefield 6. For MP5 specifically, we're gonna run the green laser. Why over the other lasers? Well, the other lasers actually lower your hipfire accuracy for whatever reason. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's because they were lower quality than the green laser, and the reason we have the green laser over the big blue laser is simply because we just don't have capacity to run the blue laser. If you can somehow cram this laser into this MP5 build, then I would highly recommend you use the blue laser as well, because it will actually give you more mobility and the transition between hipfire to ADS even mid-fire. It is the optimal laser, but we just don't have spots for it. This is why the green laser is going to be our pick of choice here. Still an excellent laser, which is going to put our MP5 at the hipfire of 62. The barrel attachments, arguably the most important part of our MP5 build. We are running a 20 capacity suppressor for our build. Why? If you read what it actually does, fully hides in-world spotting and reduces the range where a soldier is spotted on the minimap while firing, reduces hipfire accuracy. This reduction of the hipfire accuracy is basically irrelevant for our build because we have the huge 20 capacity green laser to offset some of the loss of the hipfire accuracy. Why am I running a suppressor? Well, look, there is a lot of 3D spotting in Battlefield 6. As soon as you open fire with your weapon, unless you're using a suppressor or the flash hider, you will be immediately 3D spotted, so the entire enemy team is gonna turn around and shoot that huge Dorito over your head. The suppressor or the flash hider fully removes that for you. So if you don't like the suppressor, maybe you don't like the sound of it or whatever, you can just run the flash hider, which does kind of the same thing. Do keep in mind, however, the flash hider is still gonna provide sound cues to the enemy, while the suppressor is gonna lessen that sound as well. This is why I recommend it. The reason we have the standard suppressor over the big 30 suppressor, which is also very good for hipfire, as you can see the hipfire goes up to 71, is simply because yet again we don't have the capacity to run it. If you can somehow cram it in, maybe you can remove the sight and run the iron sights and remove some other things. You can also put this CQB suppressor on, but I found that this 20 capacity suppressor does chop just fine, so I recommend just running this for now. I have ran a bunch of games with the CQB suppressor and felt basically no difference between the two of them personally. And now the grip holding our build together as glue is gonna be the 6H64 vertical grip. I chose this grip for a variety of reasons, but let me explain first what every grip does in Battlefield 6 and why you shouldn't use most of them. If you read even for the 6H64 vertical grip, it says significantly reduces recoil at the cost of movement speed and accuracy while aiming down sights. Pretty big negative considering there's already a bunch of issues with the bloom in Battlefield 6. We do know it's bugged, we do know it's not intended to be this high, so I really try to not increase it any further as it is. So if we disequip our grips and we check the best grip in the game for precision anyway, would be the stubby grip, which costs a whopping 45 weight. So we just basically cannot run this without either removing the suppressor or our green laser, and we don't want that. So the other best grip, which costs only half the price basically, is gonna be this grip that we are using, 6H64 vertical, which actually makes our bloom better at 45. So again, when we compare it to the best grip in the game, this grip only gives us a 1% more increase when it comes down to the bloom, 3 in recoil recoil and a little bit in ADS speed. But our ADS speed is already good at 62. So I think the 6H64 vertical grip is the best balance here. The other grip you can consider, which only gives positives, is also the angle grip, which is gonna, of course, reduce a little bit the precision that we get from our vertical grip, but it doesn't actually give you any negatives. So you can consider running the slim angle grip as well. You will get a bit more mobility as well. So this means you will transition faster into ADS, but the control is not gonna be as good. So let me show you how our recoil feels with our vertical grip equipped on our MP5. So if I don't control the MP5 and I just let it rip, this is how the recoil pattern looks like. It goes up and right. So this is without any recoil control. It's pretty tight, right? If we go closer to a wall here, I'm not controlling it again, you can see that the recoil is pretty tight. I'm not controlling this. So this is, a pretty tight pattern with our vertical grip. So now I'm gonna control it basically just by pulling our mouse bottom left. And you can see that the spread of this gun actually isn't that bad. I mean, this is basically ahead of a soldier. So if you do this on range, let's say this is what, 15-20 meters, we just let it rip. There's barely basically any recoil on the MP5 with this vertical grip. This is why I love using it. It gives me just enough control to laser people across the map. This is why people in my videos have been saying, guys, is Ace cheating? He has no recoil on his guns. This gun, guys, has no recoil. I'm not cheating. This just has no recoil. So let's go on the farthest target there. I'm gonna let it rip on full auto by controlling the recoil. And you can see everything goes on their heads. Let's try the other farthest target. No tap fire. You can see it all goes into the head. It's absolutely ridiculous. And this is the grip that gives us this. Alright, let's check the rest of the attachments. The barrel themselves, we are running the extended barrel because it only costs 5 weight and we had 5 weight. The difference between this barrel and the basic barrel is basically in the velocity. With the basic barrel we only get 432 muzzle velocity with the bullets, and with the extended we get 540, giving us a bit more leniency when we are shooting at targets on range. We won't have to lead our bullets as much. The magazine basically is just our standard magazine. You can also disequip the extended barrel and go for the fast reload mag, but it does hurt your mobility a little bit, so I opted not to go for it. Even with the standard 30 round mag, our reload is only 2.5 seconds. It's not the fastest thing in the world, but I think it's still very acceptable. So it's gonna be a choice here for you, whether you're gonna run the 30 fast mag or the extended barrel. For the bullets, I would have loved to run the hollow point to increase the headshot damage of the bullets, but simply we just don't have the spots. We will need 15 more weight to find this. We just don't have this. If you don't want to run the suppressor, you can slam the flash hider or something else and then try to cram in the hollow point, but I promise you, playing this game without the suppressor just doesn't feel as good. This sums up the stats of our final build at 25 damage per shot at 771 rounds per minute with 30 round magazine, hipfire at 62, precision at 45, control at 70, and mobility at 62, as I said earlier, giving us a very nice rounded build with reload time at 2.117 seconds. Like I said earlier, not the fastest, but still very acceptable. Muzzle velocity at 540 meters per second, ADS time at very fast 167 ms, and then headshot multiplier standard at 1.35 multiplier. I'm just very happy that Battlefield 6 opted to have the MP5 in the game on launch day. I've been enjoying it very much. I truly hope this build is gonna serve you justice as well, and I hope you're gonna get many kills with it. If you enjoyed watching this video, you found it helpful, and you wanna see more guides like this in the future, then please consider leaving a like and a subscription for a smaller creator. Thank you so much. Have fun with the new MP5 build, and I'll see you in the next Battlefield 6 video. Bye bye.